Hello there, and thanks for joining me. I'm digital artist Aaron Rutten, and in this video, I'm going to share some tips for working with very dark and black areas in your digital artwork. Alright, so in my office, I have 3 different monitors. One is a Cintiq 27 QHD Touch. Above that is a Samsung 50-inch HD TV at 1080p resolution. And then another 1080 HD monitor. I think this is about 22 or 24 inches. It's an Asus monitor. Now, you might notice if you look at all 3 that they all look different. They all show color differently, they show contrast differently, and they're of different brightnesses. The TV is intentionally turned down to be a little bit darker, and the monitor is tuned to be a little bit lighter. And actually, the TV, just by the nature of being a TV, it doesn't really have all that great color and contrast to begin with for artwork. The monitor is probably kind of somewhere in between, but it's a bit brighter than it should be. And then the Cintiq is the most accurate because it is actually made for displaying artwork. So what I do is I usually try to look at the artwork on all 3 screens to get a feel for how it's going to look on a range of screens, because not everybody has a Cintiq. A lot of people have a TV or just a regular monitor, and they may not have calibrated their screens, and so the screen might be too dark or too light. Now, there's not really much that you can do about this because you can't make artwork look the same on every screen, but you can try to optimize it to look as best as it can. So one of the things that's really important is dark areas in your artwork. And if we look up close here at the Cintiq and you look right around the eyes, there's a little bit of light area underneath the eye and then around the neck area. And that's like the absolute darkest area. But if we look at that same area here on the Asus monitor, you can see a lot more detail in the neck area and the eyes. So there's almost less black, or absolute black is a lot less noticeable when you really pump up the brightness in the image. If we look at that same image on the TV, then the eyes just look all black. You don't see any of that light area on the underside of the eyes. Going back to the Cintiq, this is kind of somewhere in between, but we know that this is the most accurate because this is the calibrated monitor with accurate color. So it's very important when you're working on those dark areas to look at them on a lighter screen. If you don't have a lighter screen, you can also apply a filter such as levels, or you could put a white layer on top of your image and then reduce the opacity, and that'll lighten the image a bit. And you want to look in those absolute darkest areas and make sure that there isn't anything weird, because sometimes you might think that it's a completely black area and you look at it on another monitor and there's some brush strokes there, or you didn't blend in a certain area, and you just notice a lot of stuff that sometimes can almost ruin the piece. So it's good to look in those dark areas and hunt for mistakes. A good way to fix any mistakes is just to blend or simply sample that darkest color surrounding the mistake and paint over it and make it darker. You can also create a multiply layer on top of your artwork and use that to darken in tint. So there you go. Those are some tips that'll help the dark areas in your artwork look more consistent across different kinds of devices. If you found this information helpful, take a quick second to click the like button. And if you'd like to see more digital art tutorials like this each week, make sure to click that subscribe button and enable notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.